Hello guys and welcome here. So in this video we are going to talk about the DCOUNT function inside of Microsoft Excel. So this function will count the cells that contain a number in a field of records in a certain list or a certain database. So for this purpose I have created this little table right here that contains all the elements that we need in order to run this function. So this function contains 3 arguments. So the first one will be the database. So in our case, the database will be right there. So it's gonna be the DCOUNT function part just here. Now the next element will be the field. So in our case, we want to calculate the quantity. So all the numerical elements that are inside of quantity will be calculated. And finally, the last element will be the criteria. So in this case, it's going to be the logical test. We are looking for cars that are red, that have a price that is more than $5,000 and a weight that is less than 2,000 kilograms. So what's going to happen with this? Well, what this function will do is pretty simple. It's going to look at this database right here. And each time that it finds a car that is red, that has a price of more than $5,000 and a weight of less than 2,000 kilograms, it will look at its quantity. And if the quantity is a number, it will return 1. If not, it will return 0. And at the end, we will be able to know how many numbers are inside of the cell, well, the column quantity. So let's write down our function. So pretty simple. The first element that we need to write down will be the count. So here we go. Once we have our DCOUNT, the first element will be our database. So our database will be starting at car colors and go until quantity. Once we have this, once we have our database set up, the next element will be, in our case, the criteria. So in our case, the criteria, the second element right here will be the field. So in our case, the field will be quantity. So we'll just enter quantity. There we go. And we can close our little element right here. Once we have our quantity, the last element will be the criteria. So in our case, the criteria will simply be the logical test that will be right here. So we want a car that is red, that has a price that is higher than $5,000 and a weight of less than $2,000. So once we have it, we can just close our parentheses and we can run our function. And just like that, we know that we have 2 numerical cells for cars inside of the quantity column. For cars that are red with a price point of more than $5,000 and the weight of less than 2,000 kilograms. So let's say instead of red, we write down green. Whoop, there we go. And we run the function. We know that there is 3 cars like this. So if we look inside of our database, this car is green. Here inside of quantity, it's a number, so it's 1. The price is higher than $5,000, the weight is lower than 2,000, and we have another green here and another green right here. If, for example, I change my quantity from 1 to, let's say, letter, so L, letter, here we go. As you can see, we only have 1. So why exactly it's only 1? First of all, we have this one that became a, in this case, here it's not a number, so it's a word. So it's not gonna work. Here in this case, the price is higher than 5,000, but the weight is lowered. It's higher than 2,000, so it doesn't respect our logical test. And the last one is the only one that meets all the criterias. So it meets the criterias that we have right here. And the quantity cell that is in this column is a number. So this is why we have 1 right here. If we refresh the page, well, I'm gonna refresh it again. It's gonna be 2. And the maximum that we can have is 2, of course, because here it's not a number. But if I put a number here, well, it's 2 again. Once again, it's random numbers. This is why it always changes. But as you can see, what's gonna happen is that the moment that it doesn't respect those logical tests, even if we have a good quantity, it simply won't work. So in this case, we have green and we have the weight that is higher than 2000 here and here. This is why the answer here is 1. So this is how you use the DB function inside of Microsoft Excel. So as always, the DCOUNT function inside of Microsoft Excel. So as always, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe, and see you in another of my videos.